Because to observe the tendencies of our mind that cause us suffering, like our clinginess, our neediness, this is hard to pay attention to because it's not pleasurable. You have to have courage. You have to take a leap and to try to observe it without judgment. Try to feel it without judgment. Then it doesn't get polarized, then it can change. This isn't that ironic? As long as we keep the judgment around, the thing can't get stuck. Judging ourselves in our inner, and this is what we're talking about, in the inner sanctuary of our own heart and mind that nobody else knows about. This is the important sacred space. And you consider it a sacred space, it helps. It's like, oh my God, I just had a perverted thought in my sacred space. This is judgment mind. Everything is welcome here. That's sacred space. Nothing is turned away. So when I think of like the four immeasurables or boundless attitudes, the fourth being boundless equanimity, my wishes of love and kindness and happiness and freedom from suffering, I wish that not just to the good things in life, but I wish it for all things. And normally we might think of that, it doesn't extend just to my friends and family, but also to my enemies and also to people that I have neutrals with. But what if you turn that whole same concept into the inner sanctuary space and you allow and you meet whatever you might perceive as difficult thoughts, painful emotions, or negative thoughts or negative emotions. Negative thoughts, negative emotions, in this case means those that cause us more, perpetuates our suffering and potentially the suffering of others. That's how we would define. Are you following? That's how you define in this case a negative thought. Versus sometimes in Kundalini Yoga when we say the negative mind, that's a different thing. The negative mind, when it's when it's kind of has too much real estate in the psyche, does become negativity. But our negative mind, just functionally speaking, is the protective shield in a certain way. It's the gatekeeper of the mind, because it's the quickest part of the mind and the first part of the mind that will respond or react subconsciously to any experience. So and that's because if you're in danger, the organism, the intelligence and the love intelligence of the human design is there to help to protect you from danger and to help you to survive. It wants also the species to thrive. That's why everyone is loving sex so much. And in the springtime, the animals, it's in that basic impulse of our life. This realm of existence is a realm of creativity, life always wishing to emerge. The negative mind, in terms of is a gatekeeper. It's a helper. It's not bad part of the mind. Positive mind is looking for opportunity. So what the yoga practice does is to help to neutralize the psyche, to help to center the life force in the nervous system, to help to bring some relative balance to the glandular system, so that this whole process happens with ease. It's interesting to kind of unpack it right now in this purpose, in this setting, but in our day-to-day, moment to life, this is the flow of life. It's not an intellectual thing. This is an experiential thing. So in that inner sanctum of our heart, mind, space, if it's boundless equanimity, that means all the negative thoughts are welcome. All the positive thoughts are welcome. All the neutral thoughts are welcome. We're not concerned about the quality of thought at all. We're concerned in this case of awareness and bringing awareness to the flow of our thoughts and minds. That's why I say I think this is perhaps the most important reason to do a practice, to have the ability to observe the mind's tendencies without polarization, without judging it. Because how do you experience those powerful emotions without judging them, without reacting to them in a negative or positive way? Awareness. And through awareness, you realize that this flow of emotion and feeling and thought is not this substantial part of me. These are like waves that are crashing upon the me and that I'm experiencing. So awareness has greater energy than thought. Awareness has greater energy than feeling. Awareness has greater energy than desire. And so when a person is cultivating the ability to bring their awareness to all that we're experiencing, wisdom will come out of it, the wisdom of how to respond to it. Awareness is in a certain way, it can be thought of and experienced as a greater frequency than thought. In a certain way, the thoughts kind of dissolve in the field of awareness. And this is what buddhi is all about. I don't know if it's too esoteric or too complicated or not, but it's the simple idea of being able to rest in a space where through your own inner awareness, you have the skillfulness of discerning what is real and what is not real within the context of your life. What is helpful and what is not helpful within the context of your life. What is love and what is not love in the context of your life. What do we do when then these waves come upon us and they're difficult and they're painful, when we're experiencing our own inner, when sometimes our inner critic gets insane? Do you know what I mean? Or when you're just having tremendous turmoil in yourself, and all this that I'm talking about right now just sounds like bullshit. Do you know what I'm talking about, that space? That's where compassion comes. And that's why the whole thing, I think, is we try to hold it, all of it, in like a basket, a net, a woven basket of compassion. Is the word what Tantra means, is to weave. You have to weave a basket, you have reeds, and to weave the reeds together, to weave a vision for your life that has the ability to hold all the positives and the negatives, all the pleasures and the pains, without it creating excess polarization that pulls you off your real path. The real path is natural, it's totally organic. It's the path of love. It's the path of discovering real love. Because all of us at some point will have to cross. We'll have to pass this body away. And the practice of awareness and the practice of meeting all difficult circumstances, endeavoring an aspiration to meet all our difficult circumstances with compassion, starting most importantly with self-compassion. Compassion for your own difficult predicament, compassion for your own sorrows and pains. And by meeting it with compassion, you're not having judgment. And when there's compassion, there won't be polarization. It's beautiful. And so the love, I think, is at the center of all things. But that's my hypothesis. We have to see if we can experience what for ourselves. But what if that is also the case? How does that change our vision of reality? Because our vision of reality, we all have a vision of reality whether we think about it or not. But all of us have some idea about what this all is. And most of the time it's subconscious in nature. Everybody's just out to fucking get me. This is one vision of reality that we can get stuck in as a human being, right? I always end up last. You know these narratives? So the mind is always creating some narrative, always. The yogi is just becoming aware of the narratives, and by becoming aware of the mind's narratives, it gives you the power to choose a better one. This is called self-empowerment. It's not some other teacher. It's not me. It's not anybody. It's about each one of us, all of us together, taking charge of our own happiness, and then that causes us to follow the dharma of our life. a deeper, greater purpose of our life. And then the society starts to get rich. When human beings are supported to follow the natural path of their life and to blossom, so nanak bhagata sada vigas, the devotees are forever in bliss. Vigas, bliss, but what vigas is insinuating is like a flower that continuously blooms. So again, it's not a discovery that happened at some point, then you're like coasting the rest of the way. But it's a bliss that continues to blossom, infinitely blossoms. The devotee, nanak bhagata sta vagas. This beautiful idea. And then I think you can back it up with your experience. I can. My life keeps getting better. I'm going through the hardest of, and it keeps getting better. This is true. And it'll be true, I'm definitely sure, as I'm dying, it'll keep getting better. Because it keeps blossoming. It must, but try. Just maybe see if that's possibly the case. Yeah? That would be cool, right? Wouldn't we choose that option if we had the choice? But it can't just be theory. That doesn't do anything. It might help you for a minute, like when you're like holding on for dear life. Okay, maybe this thing gets better. But I think to really make that come alive for us in life, there needs to be some discipline around it. We need to have some time and space in our life that's happening consistently that that gives space for us to experience that reality. This is called a practice. It doesn't have to be yoga. It could be anything that puts you in alignment with your life, and then you bring the context to it. I do it when I'm playing basketball. The same thing I'm doing in here, I'm my same kind of intention when I'm going out and playing basketball, if I'm going to a concert, if I'm hanging out with my son, all of it. The whole thing turns into a sadhana. But to have some physical exercise, some meditation practice that is centering the life force, helping the glandular system to balance, helping to neutralize the negatively and positively charged mind. This is what Kundalini Yoga is exceptional with. Then that will turn everything else into the meditation, into the Dharma, into the practice. The whole thing is, but I don't always feel it as a practice as much as I feel it as a participation of artistry. There's some aspects of it that's practice, but eventually practice turns into participation of Vismad, as Vismad is wonder. Wonderful. Oh, the wonderfulness. Wonder is full of wonder. Wonderful, full of wonder. So this is the idea. To rest the thinking mind and to be able to experience our subtlety. And to experience our subtlety means to experience our real substantive being. And you don't have to go find a Dharma when you're doing that. Everything will turn into your Dharma. Cool, let's start it up.
Hey, thanks for watching on YouTube. Best easy way to stay in touch with us. Hit the subscribe button here. You'll see our videos when they come up. If you enjoyed this one, hit the like button. It'll help more people see it, help the channel grow. I appreciate you watching.